Okay, so you bought a Gullwing that doesn't have the cover in the middle here. It mounts from the bottom, right here, through the opening at the bottom. Okay, so what you got to do is you got to put the nut on from the inside here, and then use a wrench to get in there to tighten it. So when you have this installed with the pod, you'll notice that this bottom piece gets in the way from the ratchet getting in there to tighten it down when it's here. Okay, so you're not able to get the ratchet in there because there's a extension on that. So what you're going to do is take your pod, and I put a mark in the center of that piece right here, and just put a mark to cut. So what I'm going to do is just cut off from here to here and go across them from there, and that should be just that little notch should be enough for you to reach in there with a wrench or socket, whatever you're using. Usually I don't think you can get in there with a socket though. It's usually just like a crescent wrench. So I'm gonna make the cut, and I'll show you guys how it looks afterwards. Alright, so here's the Gullwing. It's just sitting there, the pod's just sitting here, and you can see that's where you tighten it, and you can't really get in there because of that piece, so that's why it needs to be cut. Now you might be able to get in there, but most likely it needs to be cut. So alright, there you have the cut. Okay, you won't see it from the front or the side or anything because it's way down at the bottom. Alright, so now when you have this mounted with your Gullwing, you can get up under here and you can tighten down that steering wheel bolt. Okay, that's the whole purpose of cutting that notch out. Okay, now if you got a Gullwing with the cover plate here, you just put a socket through there, and you don't need to do that. That's only for the Gullwings that have the opening at the bottom, just like this one. Alright, and that's it for that video, and that's how you install your pod with this style of Gullwing. Thanks. This is Jacob, Knight Rider Shop. Back to installing this Gullwing. If anyone's wondering what size the nut is that goes behind the Gullwing to tighten it, it's a 21 millimeter. 21 millimeter fits just fine. And so this type of steering wheel, it's a little bit easier. Well, it's not any easier, but first put this piece on by hand. Okay, just like that, and then your socket gets up under here. Okay, and again, this is the reason why you need to cut out your pod unit at the bottom. Okay, but that's how it's installed, just like that.